On the bench today is, and this is I'm kind of bummed about this one. So it's a PL35. Is it PL35 or PL30? PL30. And right on cue, the dogs start barking. Love it. PL30. Yep. Pioneer PL30. Thank you, Ralph and Stella. You're wonderful. You're barking at nothing. I'm in the garage. I know there's nothing that you're barking at. And now Stella's howling at the moon. Dogs. Let me wipe this down real quick. All right, so why am I kind of bummed? Because I got this turntable. This was one that I picked up from a gentleman who bought this turntable, some speakers, and a receiver when he was returning from Vietnam. And I've had this stuff for a couple of years now. And I got the receiver, turntable, and speakers, and this is the stuff that he purchased in Japan. He had circled in like the AFES, which is, you know, Army Air Force Exchange Service, in their catalog, and I have all of the documentation. I have the catalog where he circled what he wanted. I have warranty cards. I have the manuals for all this stuff. It's literally like a time capsule. So first, there are some issues with this that I want to iron out. But second, you know, I've just kept this stuff and it's been shoved in a closet, and it's just not fair to do that, right? To just keep this stuff and not enjoy it. I'm retired military. I think I've shared that on the channel before, so I thought it was really cool. And it is really cool. I still think it's really cool that I have his stereo equipment that he bought in 1969 on the way back. But I just can't keep it anymore because this should really be enjoyed by somebody. So what I'm going to do in this series is I'm going to do the turntable, the receiver, the speakers I've already moved on. But I do have a repair that I need to do on this turntable, as well as some cosmetic cleanup, and then I'm going to polish the dust cover. And then I'm going to clean the controls on the receiver, but I'll leave that for the receiver video. So what's this doing, or what is it not doing? It plays just fine. So I can put the cartridge in position, and it plays. The speed is dead on. Now, did you hear that click? Oh, I guess it was dropping. There we go. So this has been sitting in my garage. It's like 40 degrees in here, so. But I'll show you when it gets to the end of the record. It'll return, and it returns it all the way. But then it just keeps spinning. And the weird thing is, it has a mind of its own. Sometimes it will stop. Sometimes it will continue to spin. Sometimes I have to hit the cut button, and I notice if I tap the cut button, sometimes I have to do it. See, now I did it twice, and then something releases on the bottom, and then it stops. So naturally, before I return this to the shop, I want to make sure it is 100%. And you know, this is one of those things. I'm kind of the king of the 90%. 90%ers is what I kind of jokingly refer to them as. Because like something like that really didn't bother me. Because I know I could just tap the cut button a couple of times and I could, you know, still enjoy the turntable, but I never really wanted to get into repairing it because I was fine with that. But naturally, because I want to make sure that this is in... Sorry, I'm trying to put a record away. Well, I'll just leave it there for now. But since this is going to go off to, you know, a new owner, I wanted to make sure I get that repaired. All right, so nice heavy platter, ginormous belt. Here's the cover for where the belt attaches. So I'm going to do a basic service on this as well. I will relube everything, although I'm kind of a maintenance junkie on my stuff, so I know this is... it has been lubed in the last, 6 months or so, but I'll do it again before it leaves. So, but what I want to do before I get into that is I want to see, so when I hit the cut button, oh, you know what? Well, I don't know if that would cause the problem. There's a spring that's kind of sprung here. I wonder if that's it. Huh. So I'll show you what I'm looking at. So what I did was I just wanted to hit the cut button to see what that actually does. And I don't know if you could, there's a lever that comes and it hits this. And I'm trying to think. Yeah. Well, maybe not. But here, I'll show you what I'm noticing. Remove this little C-clip and move this up. Come on. Should just slide up out of there. Oh my gosh. See that spring right there? I don't know if you can see where that spring's been kind of sprung, it looks like. That doesn't look right. That looks like it should be pulling back, putting a little bit more tension on this. Huh. Not sure what to do to address that though. Yeah, that spring does not look right. Oh, you know what? I didn't even zoom in. Let me zoom in and show you what I'm talking about. All right, see that spring right there? So this is what I'm talking about. This spring has been sprung, it looks like. Not sure that's the issue. So what happens is when I hit the cut, you'll see this lever here, this little wire here, right? It moves and it hits this, right? It hits the post on this, and then it kind of does whatever it does. I have to look at the bottom to see exactly what that is. But what I'm thinking is this should be, well, I mean, it's not going to move any further down. I mean, well, yeah, it would pull it down a little bit. I'm trying to think if that would make sense. So if this were down a little bit further, no, because it's hitting right now, so I don't think that spring is the problem. But I'm not going to rule it out just yet. So that caught my eye, and I wanted to kind of look at that and look at that and see what was going on with that. I think I have to move my camera. I've been messing with my camera mount, and I think I've got it kind of at a weird angle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reposition the camera, and I'm also going to flip this over so we can look at the bottom. And yeah, because it should be like that. So I'm going to flip this over so we can look at the bottom and reposition this camera because that's kind of a goofy angle. Okay, I don't remember. Trying to remember if I have that somewhere. I don't think I do. I think when I got it, it was missing. I'll have to double check, make sure I don't have that. Stick that back on there. I'm really not sure what purpose that serves other than, I guess, if you don't have a surface large enough for the normal feet to support it. You have 3 here in the middle. But man, it's been so long, I don't remember if I have that. So it doesn't matter. I'll look in I do have a little parts cabinet over here I'll look at. All right, so what I want to see is when So if I hit start, I'm going to do the start. Okay, so, and then what I want to do is hit cut, and I want to see what exactly moves. So, I may have to put the platter back on. I think that's... I think this is... It's probably a safety cap so you don't hear a pop when it comes off. I'll have to look at the service manual, figure out what that does. Not sure what this is here. Oh, that's the circuit for the line voltage coming in. Well, there's not really much you can see on this, huh? I mean, gosh, I don't know what. I can't really see much from the bottom. And this goes here. So let's see when the tone arm moves over into position here. It comes back. Well, poop. I think this is going to be... Hey, there's a second spindle for 50 megahertz voltage. I'm going to have to put this back together and watch this to see what happens. Yeah, ginormous belt on this. Like... goes on like so, and there we go. All right, so let me plug this in. I know I won't be able to watch anything, which I'm gonna, maybe I can see something from underneath to see if I can figure out what's not working. All right, so there's playing. All right, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to position myself to where I can watch that mechanism and see what it is doing or what's not doing, what it's supposed to be doing when this thing shuts off. So, yeah, let me do that and let you know what I find. If I can, I'll try to reposition the camera or maybe my iPhone and catch some video underneath if I can determine exactly what it's not doing. Okay, so let's follow the wires. I think I believe I know what's going on. I just don't know how to get to it or really how to fix it. So I believe if you follow these wires, right, those are probably going to a switch, I'm thinking, right? And there's probably a switch underneath here that when I pull play down, it turns the switch on, and when I hit cut, something underneath here turns that switch off. How do I get to that switch? I have no idea. I don't see any way to remove this plate, but I'm going to go ahead and try at least removing these screws and then seeing if I can make any sense of what is going on underneath here. But to be honest with you, the way everything is connected to everything else, I'm not real sure that I'm going to have a lot of success. Because I bet the switch, I bet it's screwed in with these, maybe these 2 screws. It's probably just a kind of a normal switch, I'm thinking. Haven't looked at the service manual because, you know, there's no fun in that. Alright, so this is, yeah, this one's here. And then you got these 2 here. That goes there. Sometimes I have to do that so I get all this stuff back in its proper position. Alright, so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I move that arm. Well, I know I'm going to have to remove this clip, so I might as well get this out of the way. Screwdriver's too big. Man, that clip is on there. Holy smokes. It does not want to come off at all. Okay, so this is the, oh, that's the cut button, right? So I'll just leave that to sit there. And that's kind of what I was scared of. I think I need to remove that was the something. I think that went to that long screw. I have to remove this piece here and hopefully that will allow me to slide this out. Maybe. That little screw there, I think, is the only thing. Seems like there's something else catching. Oh, yeah, that's got to come off. Okay. It's like it wants to come out. Oh, I think if I move the tone arm. Oh, maybe not. It was closer this way. All right, I'm gonna pause this while I wrestle with this thing to see if I can get it out of there. Okay, got it flipped over, just had to move that, release that tension, and I was able to pull it out. So there's the switch. So there's the switch. Here's the part that makes contact. So that's an interesting switch. Huh. So that opens it up and turns it on. Then it comes back down. So this is turned on. And then That is turned off. I am going to clean this switch. And see if that does the trick. Because I guess dirty contacts would cause it to not do its switching thing. Oh gosh, can I even get anything in there? Man, that thing is sealed. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's really... I guess I can try to spray some contact cleaner on this, on the button, see if I can get some in there and just work it a ton. I don't think that's going to do anything, but I really don't see any other way to do it. Maybe a new switch. I have some switches. I just don't know if they'll work. And they're switches for a different turntable. They're for a Marantz 6300. I don't even know if they would be a suitable replacement for this. But I think this switch is the issue. That puppy's like sealed. So you know what? I'm gonna. It says it's a. I think it's a VV. Could be a W, but to me it looks like VV-5-1A44. So in case I get this all put back together and it doesn't work, I can see if I can find a suitable replacement for it. And this, it might be easier if I turn this, take the tension off of this little spring here. Yeah, this is a cool turntable. Again, I'm kind of sad to see it go, but it's no, I don't know. It's very easy, at least for me, it's very easy to start collecting stuff, right? And I'm sure some of you can relate to that. The collector gene, the hoarder gene. I'm not a hoarder. Well, no hoarder will ever say they're a hoarder, probably. But I will say that I do have some collections. You probably noticed I wear a different watch in all my videos because I have a handful of wristwatches. It's one of the things that I like to quote-unquote collect. But I've pared down my collection quite drastically in the last year. And I've actually done the same thing with my electronics. Because again, it doesn't make any sense for me to keep all this wonderful stuff from other folks enjoying it. So let's see if I can put this back in here like so. And then I gotta get this underneath here. So this, I'll probably drop this in first so I can get this lined up and hopefully it won't move. I have another old school Pioneer turntable I'm going to be kind of doing a basic service on, and this one was mine. I rebuilt it, and I took it to the shop a long time ago, and I noticed it was needed a little bit of TLC. So I'm just going to kind of tack that in there for now. And it's a PL41. There's not much on the PL30. So this is, I'm not going to say it's rare, but you don't see these come up very often. You see PL25s, PL35s, but you don't see a lot of 30s. And I'm not sure if this was just like maybe a Japanese manufactured, or well, they were all Japanese manufactured, but a Japanese market release. Sorry, I'm sure I'm not making sense because I'm trying to do a couple things at one time. So there's that one, and this one. Put this back in place. There we go. Starting to get chilly in the garage again. So this is December 11th, 2022. And I have videos I release every other day, and I mention this in videos from time to time. I have stuff all the way through March, so there's a lot that's going to be hitting the channel. And I get into some really goofy stuff, so just oddball things. Just things that surprise me from time to time. So I won't give too much of that away, but and I had some positive comments on my project preview videos, so I'll try to do those a little bit more. In fact, maybe I'll shoot one today because I do have quite a few things coming up, so maybe I'll shoot that and put that out there. All right, so let's see what that did, if anything. And this did not, or did it? Does this have a clip? This one didn't come with a clip, and I'd have to look to see if it has one. I just use a black twisty tie to hold that arm in position. Got some silicone damping fluid on my fingers. Stuff's kind of gross. Alright, whoops. These things, I'm always scared I'm going to lose one of these because I have lost them in the past. Ouch. Pinch my fingers. Okay. Alright, so what are the odds that that actually did something? 50-50. I don't really know that that did much, but hopefully maybe we'll luck out. So let's see what happens. So, all right, let's give this a swirl. Okay, so there's play. Oh, well, you have to have it plugged in for it to work. So there's playing. Ooh, and there it shut off. There it is. And you know, anymore, naturally I don't film this because it would be really painful to watch, but anymore, because I hate when things come back. I mean, I really hate when I've worked on something and it comes back. Even if it's something that had nothing to do with the service that I performed, it just bothers me. Because, you know, I put my name on all my stuff, so, like, I don't want it to come back and not be working. So, let's see. So I'm going to make sure this does it 10 times, not filmed. Oh, look at that, shut right off. I'll do 2, and then I'll hit the cut button one time and make sure it returns. Man, it's working like it was designed to. Love it when I can figure something out. So there's, let's do cut. So it would be traveling back. Shuts off. There's 3. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna do it 6, 7 more times. Make sure it works. And what I'll also do, this is missing some veneer. I'm not restoring this, so you can also see where, maybe up in this corner, you can see where it's kind of split a little bit. But I'm not gonna try to fix any of that stuff because that's how it came to me. But I will hit this with some feed wax because I love that stuff. Makes it look really nice, and I'll polish the dust cover, and then I'll do kind of a recap video. You know what? Just for the heck of it, let's try it one more time. Because this is where usually it won't do what I want it to do, and it'll really piss me off. Oh, see, now that's, what did I just say? That's when it will not do what it's supposed to do and really make me mad. There we go. All right. But you know what it's not doing? I'm going to make sure it drops. There it goes. It's dropping. Nice, nice, nice. Nice, nice, nice. I actually have the original cartridge with an aftermarket replacement stylus that I'm going to put back on it, make it kind of period correct. Well, I'm happy. That's good. All right, so let me cut away. I'm going to put the bottom back on this, see if I can find that other foot, see what I can do to reattach that, and then do the cosmetic stuff and kind of come back and finish the video up. I believe I have this part. So this is my box of parts. Some are labeled. Oh, like those are transistor heat sinks. Some are labeled, some are not. Random stuff. Look what I found. Now, what I don't know is how best to reattach that. And I'll be honest, it would just be cosmetic. And the screws don't go through. Well, they kind of go through, but these are meant to go in and out, so you can. They're levelers. That's what they are. So I think I'm just gonna grab some contact cement. I can't think of anything else to use there. I don't know that super glue would work, because this is, I mean, if I got that all just loaded up with contact cement, and at least stay in place. I mean, it almost sticks. Ha! No, it does not. So I think I'm going to glue that. I'm not going to film me gluing that. I mean, it's just me applying glue. But I did want to show you that it is there. I'll clamp that down, because these other ones aren't springy. Like, that's kind of a weird way to attach that. So anyway, I did find the foot. I wanted to show you that. And I need to glue this before I attach it to the bottom. So while this is drying, I'm going to go and polish the dust cover and clean the top of that off, hit it with some feed wax, and be done. Okay, the glue seems to be holding that pretty good. What I've done is I have unscrewed the legs. So right now those three legs are what's holding this. So that way there's some weight on it, and it will kind of hold it in position while the glue dries. So I'm going to oil the motor. There's a spot here. A couple of drops of 3-in-1 in there. And if I remember correctly, I think this top plate just comes off, so I can lube the spindle. I'll be honest with you, I'm really fighting the urge to keep this. I mean, I'm really just fighting the urge to keep this. I just love this turntable. So if I keep it, I have to commit to using it. All right, so then I don't, you know, maybe I didn't do this one. That doesn't look like I've had that apart. We're gonna find out here in a minute. Oh man. Whoops. Boy, I don't know if I can get that. There we go. Oh yeah, I've not been in here. So I have not done anything to this, because that crap would not be on there if I would have cleaned this up before. I don't know if you can see that, but that is nasty. It's like a, is that maybe a rubber gasket? Or is it just oil? Feels like it might be a rubber gasket. Huh. Get all that crap out of there. Oh, I see there's a snap ring. I don't know how much I want to get into this. I really need to pull that out of there. I don't know how I'm going to release this spring, or this ring. I can feel this one going flying. Or me gouging my finger, one of the two. Just get one little corner off, and I can pull it out of there. Ah, crud. That's exactly the way to lose one of these. I don't know my phone. Gosh, I don't know. And I don't have a ring, like removal tool this small. I'm gonna give it one more try, and then I'll just kind of do my best to get this lubed and cleaned up. Get some, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have any success getting that out of there. Because I don't know if you can see that gap, there's like hardly a gap there, and I just don't think I can remove that. Yeah, nope. Nope. Nope, that's not gonna come off of there. So at least I can clean this up. Man, that bothers me though. And I don't want it to go flying, but... And I could always do this in a plastic bag, which I've done to remove these, but... Gosh, it just doesn't want to move. All right. Enough of that. Let's see if I can scrape some of this crud off of here. Although leaving it on, I'm thinking there was a gasket there. Leaving it on... I wouldn't imagine a whole lot of oil necessary in that reservoir. Looking for my trusty razor blade. I'm doing this off camera, sorry, I just want to see if I can... Yeah, it's not really pulling that stuff off at all. Nope. Right. Nope, not going to get crazy with this at all. There is a bearing in there. No, there's not a bearing in there. So what I'm going to do is take some of my real oil, drop it down into the bottom, and put this back together. And I'm also going to place a drop there. Oh, it feels better. I think it feels better. All right. And I don't know if you heard that when I was moving the spindle up and down, you can hear air escaping. So I'm pretty sure there should be a gasket right there, but I don't know what size that would be. I mean, I could use... Nah, I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay. Put this back on. Oh, goodness gracious. Grab my phone. Hold on a sec. Okay, apologize for that. I had to grab the phone. Let's see. Trying to remember where I left off. Trying to remember what I was doing. Oh, you know what? I do need a gasket on this because I believe this is kind of a floating so let me so it shouldn't be resting all the way down. It should be kind of suspended there. So I guess I'm going to have to come up with some type of gasket to put in here. What could I use? Alright, let me see what I have. Let me see what I can put in there. Interesting. Looks like there's some junk in there too. Some gunk fell down in there. Let's see if I have something I can use. I'm just grabbing my bucket of belts here. See if I can maybe use a belt on that as like a little tiny rubber belt. Oh, I actually have some. Oh, let's see. Maybe one of these will work. No. One of these work. Maybe an old idler tire. You have to get creative sometimes. You know, I think that will actually work. Might be too thick. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Couldn't find the bottom. I'm gonna get my light and shine it in here, make sure I don't have some gunk in there. And it looks like I do. Don't want any gunk in there. Oh man. Holy shit. Excuse my language. That is not what I want to see there. So it looks like I'm going to clean this out. Get this all nice and clean and put back together. It's some pretty nasty stuff, I'd say. Hit some alcohol. Gotta clean this thing out. Man, that's gross. And I'm actually going to use Q-tips for this because looks like I'm going to go through a ton of them getting this thing cleaned up. Yeah, look at that. Man, that's nasty. Gross, gross, gross. All right, that looks to be much cleaner now. Looks like all the remnants of the old gasket are gone. All right, so let's see if this improves. Oh, I see a little bit of stuff here, so let me do this. The gasket kind of just went all over the place in here. Man, I am one popular guy this afternoon. All right. Do about 3 drops down here. Put this back together. I think that idler's going to work just fine. Oh yeah. That idler's a little fat. Pop that in there like so. See how this works now. Alright, so I may have this upside down. Let's see. This isn't sitting down all the way, so I'm thinking maybe I have it upside down. This plate. That doesn't look right. But it sits down there and like it seems like that's how it's supposed to be. I have to look at the video and see how that was oriented. And then we will I'll put that platter back on and give it a spin and see how long it goes. Before I attach the belt, let's see what it does. I'm not understanding what is going on with this thing because it's dragging. I may have to look at my PL41 and see what the deal is with this thing, because what I'm not understanding is why this is dragging like it is. Come on, you can come out of there. So the platter is rubbing, And I don't understand why that is. So that should sit like that. I'm not going to screw that down. I'm just going to see what this thing is. See how it's rubbing on. There might be a bracket or something that holds this underneath too, that when I remove this, maybe it popped out of position. Let's see. Anything rattling around in there? Oh, maybe. Or is this too tall? Maybe that's it. Maybe that idler tire won't work because it makes it... See what that does. Okay. So that's what it is. This has to actually be kind of riding on that bottom there. Kind of weird. And this will ride on that like so. I know this is really, really boring to watch. Me figure this stuff out. But this plate has to sit level. So it holds... Oh, it's not really holding that in position though, is it? So maybe this has to go the other way. I could pull up a service manual if my junky computer in the garage worked, but... Alright, I've spent enough time kind of dicking around with this on video. Let me pause and figure this out. Okay, finally got everything aligned underneath. So you can see it spins and spins and spins and spins and spins. So let me make sure it does not rub when I put the belt on. It shouldn't. Okay, let's see. I don't know why it's rubbing. See what happens when I play. Not sure why. Oh, there it stopped. Kind of goofy. I just should have left it alone. That's what I should have done. Well, I mean, it seems to be working all right. All right, I think seems to be working okay. I'll have to double check the speed on that. Oh, goodness gracious. This turntable's the gift that keeps on giving, let me tell you. Get one thing working and something else pops up. anymore. All right, so here's the original cartridge. This has a Grado red on it right now. Here's the original cartridge. It's a PC35, and I have an aftermarket LP gear replacement that I will be putting on it. I think I used this on another turntable. You know, I remember I pulled this off because it didn't sound very good. So maybe I'll keep this for a different project. If I ever get a PL25 or PL35 again that I want to, or 30 or 41 that I want to take back to stock, I'll put that one on it. But this Grado's been fine on this one. All right, so gosh, listen to that sucker rub. All right, I got something I got to figure out on this thing. Gosh, so frustrating. Let me see what I did, see what I have to do. Okay. I'm sure some of you are yelling at me or have been for the last couple of minutes. I believe the problem was ball bearing at the bottom of the spindle shaft. There was likely a ball bearing there. So I'm going to have to watch the video and see where, if there was one, it popped out. I could not find a ball bearing like on my bench or on the floor. But I do have ball bearings, so I just put a new ball bearing down in there. And I'll be honest, it's not a ball bearing, it's a BB. I put a stainless steel BB down at the bottom of that, and works fine. So, yeah, that was, gosh, that was kind of painful. Sorry you had to watch it. But now, no rubbing. Whisper quiet. All the functions still work, still shuts itself off. So, finally, okay. So I'm gonna go polish the dust cover now, because this is the last project I have today. I'm trying to get this done before I go on to do the other stuff I've got to do. So, off to polish the dust cover and wrap this thing up. My goodness. Painful, it's painful. All right, here's the PL30. With the dust cover polished, feed and wax. I still have to wipe the feed and wax off. It sits for 20 minutes, but might as well just wrap this video up now. Again, I need to review the video and see if a ball bearing went flying somewhere. But that's the only thing that makes sense, and now it works fine. It's the only thing I can think of. I'm just looking at something here. The only thing I can think of on this turntable that makes sense is in terms of what potentially happened and why the platter was rubbing, because it wasn't sitting up high enough because there was no bearing in there. All right, so I think I'm going to call this one good unless something pops up. But as always, if you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right, so this video is actually going to be pretty edited. Or I'm going to edit a lot out of this video, I should say, because I want to spare you the pain of what I figured out, or what the problem is. So let me show you one thing first. So here is the assembly that switch sits on. Right, here's the switch right here. And here's the little lever that depresses the button on the switch that I took out. Now, I did show you that when I disassembled it. And then there's actually an exploded view of that board right here. So here's the switch. The problem with the platter, right, and although I believe I should have left it in the video, excuse me, I remedied this by placing a ball bearing in the the center shaft bearing assembly. Oh my gosh, my voice. That came out of nowhere. So here's the bearing assembly. So here's the center shaft, right? Here's the housing. Here's the locking ring. Here's the bottom. Here's the rubber gasket. So notice how there's no bearing in here. Notice how there are two flat pieces here, part number 404 and 405. So 404 is actually called a thrust bearing. Now, what has happened is the thrust bearing and the plate that sits beneath the thrust bearing have basically disintegrated over the past 50 plus years, right? So this turntable is probably from the late 60s, 67, 68, 69, somewhere around there, maybe 70, right? So this thrust bearing disintegrated, this piece disintegrated. So when I was looking at this, I noticed there was some cupping, like I could see the metal on the bottom of the cap, and it almost looked to me like a bearing would sit in the middle. Well, what had happened was all this stuff is melted, and when I was pulling gunk out of there, it wasn't gunk from this gasket. It was the thrust bearing and this little substrate here, this little piece here. Now, if I look at the parts list, 404 and 405, it doesn't call it a thrust bearing. It calls it a rubber mat A and rubber mat B. So I shot a video that I'm not including in here, kind of describing this and what I thought everything was. But then I did some research last night as I was kind of laying in bed, and I recall a thrust bearing that should be replaced on the PL41, and I didn't realize that this had a thrust bearing as well. And I'll be honest, I didn't know what a thrust bearing looked like. The cool thing is, Pat's Audio on eBay, they sell a thrust bearing for the PL30 and the PL41, and I actually have a PL41 that I'm going to be servicing. So I will jump to when I get the thrust bearing in. I'm going to keep this. I'm probably going to do two parts. So it'll be in part two, right? So part two will have the thrust bearing because part one was kind of the why won't it shut off, and then I kind of trailed off into doing a service, and that's when I discovered, this mess here. So stay tuned for part two. When I get the thrust bearing in, I'm going to install that. The thing is, though, with my kind of makeshift fix, putting a little solid, well, actually, it was not stainless steel. It was a copper BB. I think I said it was stainless steel. It's a copper BB that's sitting down underneath here. With the increased thickness of the gasket that I put in, which was just an idler tire, the BB actually puts this almost at the perfect height so that the platter doesn't scrape. But a turntable like this, you want to do it right. So I have this new, it's plastic or Darylin, something like, I don't remember what the term for it is. But it's basically a plastic thrust bearing that I'll be installing. So anyway, stay tuned for part two. It's coming, and hopefully I can get this thing back to near factory spec when I'm done. So